Your mindset is everything. It can make you or break you. Be aware of your thoughts, be open for new ideas, and most importantly, stay positive. Hey there, Tamir from FIBONACCI'S.com here with the daily market recap. Please hit the like, subscribe, share with friends, and without any further ado, let's see the charts. Another day, another doji, another inside candle, another day of indecision on the SPY. And if the market cannot decide, we surely cannot decide. So what do? We sit and wait for the price to show us the way. Long continuation above 415 to the upside towards 417 and this red trend line, or some retracement below the 408, filling this gap at the 407 and might going retest this yellow trend line. So for now, sit and wait until price will show us the way. QQQ breaking above this trend line. Now next resistance will be the 330 to the upside, and 323 needs to hold as support. Follow price, use levels to the upside, to the downside to manage risk, and of course trend lines that will show you the way for future price action. IWM, still nothing much on the IWM. As we can see, price range is getting tighter and tighter. Red trend line to the upside, 170 to the downside. A move will come to the downside below 170 towards 163. Above this red trend line, we are going towards the 180. Dow Jones holding the 331 to the downside because bulls of the Dow knows that if this level will break to the downside, this gap and the 323 to the downside will arrive pretty fast. So bulls of the Dow holding the 332 as a very important level of support. Can Dow break up and above, finally breaking up and above this red trend line that goes all the way since January of 2022. Breaking above this red trend line and above the 341, we are going towards the 347 as the first resistance in the future. VIX bouncing between the 16 and the 1840. Nothing much on the VIX. Bitcoin on the daily, broken record statement incoming. Trend lines are the true support resistance for price action. You know these trend lines because you follow me on Twitter and you saw previous videos. If you didn't, hit the like, subscribe, share with friends, hit the notification bell, and make sure you follow me on Twitter. Now you can see breaking below this red trend line, as we said a few days ago. Once this red trend line will break to the downside, next support will be the 26 and orange trend line. Trend lines, roadmap for future price action. Ethereum breaking below the 1800. Now 1711 is next, together with this white trend line. This white trend line is holding for now past higher lows, as we can see, since November 2022, December 22, also here March. And now next level, next area of support will be the 17 together with this white trend line. Netflix breaking up and above this downtrend, short-term downtrend. Cup handle, if you are a pattern seeker, if you are a pattern trader, we can clearly see here the cup and handle. Now 350 will be next, breaking up and above, and Netflix is going all-time highs. All we need to do, follow price, use levels and trend lines to manage our risk. Check the links in the description below for more educational resources. Apple on the daily, 5th day in a row, 174 to the upside. Resistance 171 to the downside, support breaking below the 171. We are going to fill this gap above 174 178, and this white trend line together with the 183 to the upside. Microsoft, doji, but on the positive side, holding above the red trend line. This red trend line was a very tough resistance, as we can see for the higher highs. Now, post earnings, breaking up, and since then, basically moving sideways. 2 weeks of sideways move on Microsoft, but as long as this red trend line from resistance, to support, 316 to the upside is the next level of resistance. Nvidia, same as Microsoft, nothing much. Since end of March, 264 to the downside, now 293 to the upside, and as we can see in the past 2 weeks, 276 is holding, 293 resistance together with this yellow trend line. Let's see where price of Nvidia is taking us. If you are not long or short on Nvidia, wait for price to show you the way. Maybe short, starting small size position short below the 276, long continuation above 293 and above this yellow trend line. Only my opinion, of course. Everything you see in here is for educational purposes only. Always do your own due diligence. Amazon. Did we say already that trend lines are not only the true support resistance for price action, they are also the roadmap for future price action. You know these red trend lines because you saw previous videos in the past few weeks or so, and we got a bounce of this trend line over here all the way to where? To this trend line over here. Now 110 needs to hold as support, otherwise we have a small gap over here. We can mark it so we don't forget, because we know that more than 80% of all gaps will get filled throughout time. Sooner the better, and then we can get another bounce towards the 118 to the upside. Tesla, another day, another inside candle, continuation of indecision for Tesla. We have the gap to the upside at the 178, we have the gap over here at the 146, bouncing and struggling between two gaps. If you're not long or short on Tesla, I would wait to see which gap will get filled first and then take a decision. Because until this gap or until this gap will get filled, in my opinion, this gap will get filled first and then going to fill this gap to the downside. But one day, 1 week at a time. Follow price, never make assumptions. Price will show you the way. Below 164, this gap will get filled. AMD, struggling with the 98, as we can see. 98 was a very tough resistance over here, now becoming once again resistance in the past 2 days. 93, 94 to the downside needs to hold, otherwise we are going to retest this white trend line. But as long as this lower white trend line is holding, AMD is in an uptrend until proven otherwise. Shopify, 61 to the downside, 65, 66 to the upside, below 61. In my opinion, this gap will get filled at the 48. Long continuation above 66 towards this blue trend line. Google, very strong continuation, very strong bullish continuation on Google yesterday, today. Now let's see if we can retest this white trend line and maybe breaking up and above, but this gap needs to get filled. Where price is going, no one knows. All we can do, follow price. But for now, Google is in a strong bullish trend. Meta, We have a gap to the downside at the 214. We have this gap since February 3rd to the upside. This is why we have pretty much sideways move on Meta since end of April. 2 weeks of sideways move between the 230 and the 244. Both gaps are pulling price, one to the downside, one to the upside. This is why we have an indecision on Meta. All we have to do is sit and wait. Above 244, we are going to retest this white trend line to the upside. Below 230, in my opinion, this gap at the 215 and 214 will get filled. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please hit the like, subscribe, share with friends. Help me grow this channel, will be much appreciated. Don't forget to check the links in the description below for more educational resources. Until the next video, stay safe.